Finally, the time has come. It's time for a change.
It's time for somebody to step up.
Time for somebody to do what needs to be done. It's time for resurrection. What is up, everybody? We are here live following the Denver Broncos' narrow 21-20 victory last night, and we're going to be here. Forget about both those teams because we're talking the little Jets Bengals today. This is obviously the first game of the season. It's kickoff Sunday. Everybody's getting excited, getting their orange flags, getting their airplanes, putting them on their head, getting their green and white, their orange and black. Everybody's excited for this game. I mean, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. This game is going to feature two of the NFL's best defensive fronts in the league, and also two of the best receivers in the league in Brandon Marshall and AJ Green. But the difference is the Jets have the best, one of the best corners, if not the best in the league, covering AJ Green. So that's going to be a battle to watch throughout the entire game. It's going to be an exciting game filled with emotions. Being that it's 9/11, being that it's at New York, the Jets have got the edge. The emotions will be running high as coaches and staff and older players remember the day that will live in infamy in 9/11, where terrorists cowardly attacked the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York. In 2001. Let me tell you something about this flag. Alright, this flag right here represents a lot. And it means a lot to the people of this country. So not only do you give the New York Jets an edge because of their team, the matchups, the advantages that they have, but you give them the edge because they're representing the city that didn't cower when the terrorists attacked it. They didn't give up when the terrorists attacked it. The team that fought, and everybody pitched in and rebuilding and helping out the people who lost their lives and their family. The families who lost loved ones. The people that died, they're honoring them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important day. And this is why you should tune in, because you're going to see not just a football game, you're going to see a city defend their turf against the visiting Bengals. Two teams that will be playing for pride, playing for this country, and playing their hearts out. Because everybody knows it's not time to give up when football season's around. It's not time to give up when your home is destroyed by cowardly terrorists. It's time to stand up and fight. That's why I'm taking the Jets this weekend. Not just because I'm a Jets fan. Because any team that's lining up to defend their home front on a holiday such as this, a day that will live on in the hearts of friends and families, especially New Yorkers' hearts. This is a big game for the Jets. Go Gangrene. Go Jet Nation. Jet up and show up for America. Well, alright guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed the long segment I had last night with Dylan. Making our week one picks. To close the video, I'm going to do something a little different this time in honoring of 9/11. I'm going to show a little clip about the Jets and why 9/11 means so much to the organization and to the NFL as a whole. Enjoy. Get a little bit more detailed into the game. So we're going to have one of the best front sevens in the NFL facing off against Andy Dalton, A.J. Green, Giovanni Bernard, Jeremy Hill, and the talented Bengals offense. Now this is going to be one of the best matchups to watch all weekend. And on the other side of the ball, you've got Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Matt Forte's debut with the New York Jets, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's got a chip on his shoulder. He only got paid. He just got re-signed with the Jets, but he only got paid for 1 year, 1 season, 1 chance. And he's got to go out there and play his heart out if he wants to stick around in the NFL a little bit longer. Brandon Marshall looking to make good off his bet with Antonio Brown, for those of you that followed that pretty well. So you've got all those matchups, so it's going to be a must-watch game. Expect the Jets to win it in a close one, 21-17. Sounds about right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first from Harley.
Excited at this time to present the new head coach of the New York Jets, Herman Edwards.
You're excited about opening day, especially being a first-year head coach. You had to play Peyton Manning, I remember that. Didn't turn out like we liked. But as we were driving back to New York, you look at the skyline. It was a beautiful evening, Sunday. And, you look at the skyline and said, what's New York City, Tuesday, I can remember sitting in my office. We were at Hofstra, and my window was over here to the left, and about every hour or so I could look out my window. You could always see planes coming in. You could see the flight pattern. And you kind of look at me going, look, and an hour went by, no plane. Oh, that's strange.
We were all off. Basically, I remember waking up in the morning. I lived in Long Beach on a high rise, and I had a direct view of the city.
So everything was normal, as usual. Tuesday morning, players' day off. A lot of guys go in and lift, get their lift in early or whatever, and that's kind of where I was at.
It's a day that typically that there are tryouts, and I was sitting there. I remember the player's name. His name was Tom Barnes. He was a defensive tackle. I think he went to Pitt. Over his shoulder, I could see my office, and my phone was ringing. I was putting it off, and then it rang again. So finally, I went over there. I picked up the phone. I said, Tom, hold on 1 second. I got to go answer this. And it was my wife on the phone. She goes, turn on the TV. A small plane just flew into the World Trade Center.
I got on the speaker system for the entire building, said, everybody, you have to turn on your television. I said, there's been 2 accidents. We did not know that it was terrorism.
When I went down to the coaching staff, they were all down in their rooms. And I said, guys, we got a problem here.
We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that.
I was going over the Gowanus, over the BQE, and it was an early morning. It was beautiful. The sky was bright. I was on the phone with my brother, and I just happened to look up, and I saw that one of the towers was on fire. It was almost like typical New York. It was somewhat a calm going on. People were just looking at who's videoing, who's taking pictures. And then I would say shortly thereafter, the second plane came in.
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right? Oh my God! Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
So the players come in the next day. And you can just tell by their demeanor, we're all shocked. I mean, we've been attacked. They're trying to figure out what to do.
When we came in the next day, the buzz started talking about, preparation for that week. Guys are really not thinking football.
Nobody's mind was on practice. You couldn't help to think about it. Vinny Testaverde is from, Elmont, which is right in Long Island. His dad's helped build the World Trade Centers. Wayne Corbett lives in New Jersey.
The people in this locker room have neighbors who are missing. Our children's friends in school don't have dads and moms anymore.
Went out on the field. About 40 minutes into practice, I said, let's go back in. So remember Vinny, Vinny was
coach. And I go, hey, I get it.
Vinny stood in front of the team and said, in light of who he was as a New Yorker, Long Islander, if the commissioner makes us play this game, you're going to make the trip to Oakland without me as your starting quarterback.
I don't even understand why we're here today. I think all games should be canceled this week.
It was a time that I felt like as a professional athletes and professional teams in New York really had to come together and lead that charge.
You will see the reports, coming out of New York, in particular with the Jets. Our players were just real vocal about what they wanted to do.
I was a player rep for the New York Jets at the time. So immediately after that happened, Gene Upshaw from the union called me and wanted to know what's going on in New York. The only thing that kept coming up was when John F. Kennedy got shot, Commissioner went ahead and played games that following week. And so this was going to be paramount to that. It's going to be one of those kind of decisions for Major League Sports and in particular the NFL.
I was on a conference call where all of our reps around the country got on the phone and made the decision not to play football that weekend. Kevin Mawai, he was on the phone. He said, guys, there's no way we can play football because all I see is smoke, and all I see is what's going on in our facility, what's going on in our city. There's no way to do it.
And I told the guys, the members on the phone call that I want you guys to know that the New York Jets have voted to forfeit this week. That evening or the next morning, the commissioner made an announcement that all games would be canceled that week.
This was bigger than football. This was bigger than Sunday and playing a game. This was bigger than being the head coach. This was being an American. What do you do as an American when something happens like this? The first thing that you think about is, how can I help?
The initial goal was to go down to ground zero as a team and go help and lend support to the first responders.
Whatever we could do to help the people in New York, we needed to do that.
The ones that were heralded as the heroes were the first ones to go in, the firefighters and the police officers, and they lost their lives trying to save other people.
It was emotional, to say the least, and I think that even made you feel better about the decision you made. When you see it on television, it's one thing, but when you actually go down there and you see it, it's still smoldering. The devastation of it. And as I said on Sunday night, I went by the Trade Center. I looked at them. Tuesday, they're gone.
First time I got down there was about 9 p.m. on the night of September 12th. And the streets were closed. I parked the fire truck in front of City Hall. We walked 2 blocks to the Trade Center site. And it was the most incredible thing I saw. Just see the lighting and the cranes that they were bringing in. And it looked like a movie set. You couldn't believe this, to see parts of the World Trade Center on its side on Church Street.
It was tough. It was something people say we should never forget, and America should never forget, but I tell you, I would give you 5 years off my life if I couldn't forget.
It had a strange feel to it because it was almost like, even though it had only been a couple of weeks, it just hadn't felt like we played. It felt like it was the first time the team had played in a year.
Clay Hampton was able to secure first responder hats, FDNY, NYPD, and Port Authority. It really made me feel proud.
I remember a few guys like Kevin Mawai, Wayne Corbett, coming over and hugging me. And, as you know, before each game, we kneel down in prayer. And, I guess I kind of lost it.
A lot of tears in the eyes, especially when the national anthem was sung. And I can remember the firemen coming out holding the flags. It was powerful. There was not a dry eye on the sideline. On both sidelines, trust me. I don't know if there was a dried-out person in the stadium.
It was electric. Joe Andruzzi played offensive guard for the Patriots. His brothers were firefighters from New York City.
He comes running down the ramp, and they're just announcing him, and he's got flares in his hand. It was the first step in getting back to normalcy, just to have football again and realize this is America's pastime.
We're playing for a sense of pride, not for the Jets, for the Patriots, or the Shield.
We're playing for the pride of America. That team, what they've gone through, the past few days of the week prior, it's almost like you wanted to comfort your brother. As I sit here today, and this happened 15 years ago, every opening day in the National Football League, since that event, I always just say a prayer because it was just unbelievable. And it was, now it's a little bit of our history. It's a little bit of the past, but it never leaves my brain. It never leaves my brain. On opening day, I always reflect back on that day of 9/11.
A wise man once said, "A hero is a man who is afraid to run away." 2,996 people died that day. Citizens of America, hard-working people, heroes who ran after those people. See, the good thing about America is, when we die for something we believe in. We don't sit around and just let it past us. We stand up for what we believe in. And when people try to attack us, that's when we show our true colors and we fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday is more than a football game. This is the pride of New York and the pride of America coming together all to play on one special day to commemorate an anniversary of 15 years ago. Jets Bengals tune in this Sunday and expect to see the entire crowd of New York amped up. Because we live in the land of the free and also the home of the brave.